Hello there, all you wondrous beasts of the internet, my fellow friends and fellow fiends, the pretentious fiend here with another music review. Wearing an absolutely noisy as jacket today. Got a bit of a Karl Lagerfeld thing going on, but I do have leopard print shoes. This isn't relevant, I just wanted people to know. Today we're gonna have a look at some good old-fashioned Miley Cyrus. We're gonna look at the second single off her just-released album, Prisoner, featuring of course Dua Lipa. Now the earth damn near exploded a couple of weeks ago when we saw Miley's Blondie cover. And rightly so. It was really fucking good. And after hearing this, and of course the lead single off this album, Midnight Sky, it's no coincidence that Blondie cover's heavier rock voice is kind of what she was leaning into in that cover. It is really very representative of what she's going to go through in this album cycle, which I'm kind of excited to hear, because I'm always excited to hear someone with the wealth of experience that she has delving into different genres and seeing her take on it. Without further ado, I will do the headphone thing. Alright, back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
The first and most obvious thing everyone's gonna notice with this track is the oozing of 80s aesthetic, which is kind of coming back in droves, and it has been coming back for a fairly long time now, and it's kind of starting to hit a pretty good stride, but was really, at least to me, brought to the forefront in really big popular mass with The Weeknd's Blinding Lights. Old school 80s kind of vibe. Just like with her choice of the Blondie covers, you can tell that she is referencing an immense amount of 80s ooze here in the best possible way. Kicking off with the first verse, Dua Lipa takes over, and Dua Lipa has a really great, super clean, wonderful, modern voice that has that real intimate breath at the end of words, like this line, which always remind me a lot in a very positive way of singers like Rihanna. But Miley's voice, I'm a big fan at the moment. Big fan. The rasp, the tone, the aggressive maturity with which she is approaching this new album cycle, and her voice has been kind of slowly getting into that more aggressive tone as late, and it's a really interesting thing to see her explore. She's always had a deeper, more resonant kind of tone, but to see lines like this, it just sounds so authentic and on the edge. That is a really pleasant artistic choice to hear, as opposed to a lot of the super clean vocals you've been hearing in pop music. And so it's great to hear her going into this kind of smokers club scream, which is really a lot of fun to hear in a pop banger. And hitting on another point with the vocals in terms of cadence and in terms of how these words are fitting into the beat, you are hitting pure 80s pop reference. Miley's entrance into the second verse reminds me so much of Michael Jackson's Beat It. And now some people might listen to this and think she's lifting it from it, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's a direct homage. To be honest, I just feel like this is such a aesthetically thought out package, inclusive of the Blondie cover. It seems like such a cohesive package aimed at evoking a specific experience of a time and place. In terms of music and production, the absolute front and center star of this musically is the bass. Yet again, it's kind of got this Michael Jackson Beat It style walk groove. It does have this great drivability and walkability, which sounds like an odd thing, but that's kind of a way I experience music, through physical movement, probably because I have Tourette's. And whilst the big thing that you're really going to notice and feel and hear and kind of process when you listen to this is going to be those spacey synths and the lead synths as well, they really just fill out that 80s aesthetic, but it's really the driving grit and soul and sex behind the song is the bass. Like if we, okay, here we go. Help this channel blow up so we can afford a better bass. It's even in D sharp, so for a regular old guitar, that's a half a step down style tuning, which is an extremely 80s thing to do. Granted, that's more of an 80s rock, Guns N' Roses-y kind of thing to do, but it was still something that was super prevalent. It reminds me of Iron Maiden the Trooper. And then, That's tasty. I mean, it's a classic early 80s style bass. My biggest, I guess, criticism of the song is that the chorus kind of just comes and goes besides that killer bass, which is such a shame for a song that has some really good verses compared to, say, the lead single off this album, Midnight Sky, in which the choruses just slap. Also, Midnight Sky has a lot more interesting up and down in terms of dynamics, and Prisoners tends to be a lot more straightforward. Boom, verse, chorus, outro. But that really just tends to be, I think, a byproduct of feature songs. All in all, this song is a fun, sexy groove that does make you want to tease your hair and dance in slow motion. But more importantly, go have a listen to the song and let me know what you think. I'll be back next week with a full album review. We're going to dive into the juicy 80s goodness that has been put before us by dear Miley. And of course, before you leave today, like, share, subscribe, go find me on the social medias, follow the Fiend, Brandon Valentine, the pretentious Fiend here. I'll see you guys next time. Ooh. Sweaty hair situation because I'm wearing a leather jacket in summer in Australia. That was a terrible song. I should be ashamed.